Hi class, I wanted to give a quick tutorial on how to do our Google Earth tour for your draft tour of your park for assignment 5.2. I realize the sort of default curriculum built into the class doesn't really explain this very well. You can of course go on Google and go to YouTube and look for tutorials on how to do this. But I thought I would give one here myself. So what I've done is on Mercer Island here near where I live in Seattle, I've used the add placemark tool, which you're all familiar with, to add a few points on the island here. When you add those, they automatically appear underneath temporary places here on the left-hand pane. And for each of these, you can adjust the properties. This is where you would put in all your geologic information about the site. You can even add images here and links and make it more interesting. Change the style and color. I like to change the pin here, and I've sequentially numbered my pins 1, 2, 3, 4 through my mini tour here to sort of give a little more direction about the direction of the tour. And you can of course rename your pins up here, your place marks. Something that I wanted to show you, which is a really useful feature that I recommend you do, is that for each of these pins, you really want to be showing the feature there. And at this zoom level, you're really not showing too much. And so what you want to do is adjust, zoom in and adjust your angle of view for each mark. So I'll zoom in here to my first pin. Sort of change the angle a bit so you can see the landscape a bit better. And my pins are a little boring here, but you might have some more interesting geologic features to display. I got a little better viewing angle here and zoom level. And once you're happy with that, go back to your place mark over here on the left-hand side, right click and go to snapshot view. And that's going to save that view for that pin. So I'll go back to this pin, which is again at the zoomed out level where you can't see much. But now when I go back to start one here and double click there, it's going to zoom in and show that more interesting angle. So I suggest to do that for each one of your place marks. When you add these place marks, they're going to automatically appear. I'll add another one here. They're going to automatically appear under your temporary places. So there it appears down there, the fourth one I just added. And so you'll just sequentially add all these and adjust the view, add the information about the spot, any links, anything like that, until your tour is complete. And they will all appear under your temporary places here. Now to save your work, this can be a little tricky. So you don't want to right click and save any individual place mark here, because that'll just save a KML file of that one place mark. You want to save the whole thing. So really everything that is in my temporary places folder right now I want to save. So I would right click on that, and now there's two options here. Make sure to just do save place as, not save to my places. Save place as will save this whole folder as either a KMZ or a KML file. So just name it and save it, and then that's the file that you'll submit for the assignment. Now there's options in Google Earth for doing video tours where you can sort of fly through from pin to pin, but I suggest just to save a folder of place marks like this with a good zoom and perspective on each place mark, and good information about each place in the pop-up balloon. And then just submit that KML file. That way the person doing the tour can just sort of click through at their own rate and go from site to site and read the information and just sequentially sort of go through the tour, as opposed to having to follow a video you've recorded. So there are my pointers on how to do that. Please do email me if you have any questions.